husband's been getting close with his ex-wife again. I think he's cheating. I, 27 male, and my husband, 37 male, have been married for 3 years, dating for 6. He has an ex-wife, 37 female, which he divorced a year before we met. We have a son, 7 male, who was adopted after we got married and who I love as my own child because he is.
Yeah.
Lovely. By the way, this comes from Majestic Designer on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I know my husband, Peter, is bisexual. I have no problem with it, and I had no problem with his ex-wife, Allison. I did have a problem with his family, as they're a bit homophobic and are always telling Peter he should get back together with Allison. Yuck. Well, 2 weeks ago, we were at his family's town because it was my son, Jack's, big name, birthday, and we wanted to spend it as a family. My mother-in-law decided it would be a good idea to invite Allison, so she arrived in the middle of the party. I didn't want to ruin Jack's birthday, so I stayed quiet. I spent all my time with Jack, playing with him and his cousins at his request. When it was time to cut the cake, I noticed Allison and Peter weren't there. Oh no. So I went inside and looked for them around the house. I found them in Peter's old bedroom, taking their clothes off. Peter!
Very, very short list of acceptable things that could be
you
going
can do
on there.
Yeah, at a child's birthday
can
party.
you take a look at this mole I have? I don't know.
I've got kind of a rash that I can't reach, and you, in this version, happen to be a doctor. A highly acclaimed doctor.
Tell me if I need to take this seriously.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's it. That's the only scenario. I stood there in shock for a moment, but then I left and went back to celebrating Jack's birthday. Part of me wanted to scream and cry, but I also was in shock, and I refused to make Jack's birthday about me. We cut the cake and opened the presents. People were already leaving when Allison and Peter came back. Oh my God, wait. He was gone for like his entire son's birthday?
With his ex-wife.
That's so messed up.
Yeah,
that's so messed up.
That's like
something that kid's gonna talk about when it comes out, because it will. He's gonna talk about that in therapy. He's like, my dad and my mom weren't there for my
That's a thing that you keep like
birthday?
under wraps for the kid forever, because it's like, you can't make the 7th birthday about how your parents
cheating.
who adopted you actually. Well, that's just, come on, man, have some class.
Come on,
have a little bit of class.
Ay. Peter took me aside and started saying that I shouldn't have cut the cake without him present, and it was disrespectful. The audacity. I stared at him and just said, I'm sorry. I just thought you'd be too busy getting into your ex-wife's pants. Freaking drop my mic. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, but OP had to say that.
Oh, dude,
had to say that.
That had to felt
so good.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You're like, how do I bring this up? How do I bring this up? And then your husband goes off on you and you're like,
it felt like 100 little baby angels singing a chorus.
Perfect timing. Boy, oh boy. Oh my God. The audacity of this guy. He got quiet. So I took Jack and left the house to go back to the hotel. Once I put Jack in bed and made sure he was asleep, I locked myself in the bathroom and broke down. I only calmed down in the morning when I took Jack for breakfast because I didn't want him to see me like that. I'm now watching him play in the park and I don't want him to suffer. I don't want him to have a broken family. I don't want him to know that relationships aren't happily ever after. Peter has been calling and texting, apologizing for everything, and I'm tempted to forgive him. I'm tempted to just have my family back. And all my friends are saying that it was just a mistake, that he was vulnerable, and Allison is his ex-wife. So what am I supposed to do now? I need the advice from people who don't know my husband or me personally. I disagree with your friends. I think that, one, I don't think that you should ever have to stay with each other for a kid. I think that you can try and maybe go to therapy and see if you can work it out. But I don't think that you ever have to work through cheating. I think there are certain, I think it's possible. But I think that there are certain things in a relationship, like, you're having arguments or something, or there's miscommunication that you can work through with therapy. But with cheating, I think it's like, you have to be so certain that you want to push past this and certain that you can push past it for it to work. Because if you're gonna not trust them going forward, which you have every right to do so, then the relationship is not gonna work.
Have you seen Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Do you know Ron Swanson's ex-wife character that he just is like, it's like his poison?
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a little bit what this situation is. And I think I agree with you, of course. Like, you should never be forced to go. And it's like, is it confirmed, like, for a fact, like, they were, okay.
This just in.
It's so hard because of the kid. Like,
yes.
I think, and if you adopted the kid, you want more than anything for him to have a stable life and a stable environment to grow up in.
But I guess it's just asking yourself, is it more stable to stay together in a relationship where there is a lack of trust and you might grow, resentful of your partner? Yeah. Or is it more stable to be in a place where you are healthy and feel supported with a partner who loves you and is not going to cheat on you?
I think maybe in my head, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, it's just for the kid in my head, it's like, I think you got to try to go to therapy, figure out why did he do that? And it's, of course, like, and it's only for the kid. If the kid wasn't involved, I'd be like, you're gone. Get out of there. Yeah. No way.
But I think it's the other mind
literally for the sake of the kid.
Yeah.
In my head.
I think therapy is always good in general, but I do think that it's really up to OP. I don't think that he has to take his husband back at all. Like, I think if he does, he just has to. They're both gonna have to put a lot of work in if they want to try and move past this. But can we do a poll?
Yes.
Divorce or therapy? What do we say?
Therapy or divorce? Yes. The classic situation.
Ultimatum. This is what you get when you have that two-headed what?
Divorce or therapy? Divorce or therapy?
I think I'm of divorce. Dakota is of therapy.
I think you got to at least try to do a little therapy.
Sure. Because
just a nice little sprinkle. Just to try to work through it.
Sprinkle therapy.
And maybe later you can not leave him because it's just 7. That age is like really.
And there is an update,
tender age. Oh, there's an update.
There is an update.
Okay, well, let's get into that.
The last thing I was gonna say is I think that therapy, even if they are on the road to divorce, when you have a child, I think couples counseling is good because it allows you to work on being co-parents. Even if it's not we're staying together, it's like we're divorcing, but we're gonna figure out how to effectively be co-parents to this child that we've adopted.
That is also true. And fair.
But there's an update. So let's get into it. Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for your advice, and I want to explain some things before the actual update. But thank you for opening my eyes about my situation. Peter and Allison did notice me when I saw them. There was music very loud downstairs, and they weren't facing the door. I didn't stop them because I was in shock. They didn't. Oh, okay. So they didn't. Yeah, I didn't think they saw him. I stood there for a moment, and I heard my son, so I unconsciously focused on him. I was pretty much in autopilot. Peter didn't come to the hotel with me because I changed to a different one. He did try to follow me, but I took a taxi and left. As far as I know, he's staying with his parents, and Allison left. When we met, I was 20 and he was 30. We started as friends, and we ended up dating. Yes, we're both men, and no, I didn't feel manipulated or groomed by him. Those were the most asked questions, and I did answer some comments, not all. Now on to the update. I did, as some of you said, and took some tests to discard any STIs or STDs. The results are coming back in a few days, and I will take another one in 3 weeks to be sure. My son is having a sleepover with his friend, and I decided to speak with my husband. He came by our house after a few minutes. Oh, and Storm Kitten says they saw him and still did it before coming downstairs. OP is saying that they did not see him.
Yeah, the back turned, loud noises.
Him. He came by our house after a few minutes after I texted him. He asked about Jack, and I told him where he was. Then we sat on the couch and started talking. I started crying after a few minutes, and he followed after. I asked some simple questions: when, why, how many times, among others. And this is what I could figure out by all the things he said. It happened for the first time when he visited his parents alone 2 years ago.
Divorce.
Yeah, this isn't a one-time thing.
Divorce.
Oh, we've got Dakota, guys.
Divorce.
We've got Dakota.
It's the poll. Yep. It's
100%.
22 votes now.
22 votes. We've got everyone's on divorce.
Peter, come on,
2 years. They invited her. They both got drunk. He was feeling lonely as I had been giving more attention to Jack since we adopted him. He's jealous of a child?
Divorce. Can I nice and close? Divorce.
Wait, there we go.
Divorce.
One more.
divorce.
Nothing happened again until her son's birthday party. He said his mother pressured him a bit and he caved in. What's with all these moms? Your mom can't just be like, sleep with your ex-wife. Sleep with her.
Oh, I forgot about that detail. The family doesn't like that he's bisexual.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, but even still, divorce.
Yeah, divorce.
That's
divorce.
And that's a case of that's so sad for you and I feel for you, divorce.
Exactly. It's like that. I understand your situation, but divorce.
Yeah, you're gonna have to work on that divorce.
I don't believe he did it for that reason, but I don't know. He said he doesn't love her, and I believe him, but it doesn't negate the fact of what he did. After talking for a while, I told him that I wanted a divorce. Listening to our advice. Oh, we do have one therapy vote, and it's not Dakota anymore.
Oh, it's not me. It's not me.
He started sobbing and begging for another chance, but I told him that I can't give him another chance because I wouldn't be able to trust him again, and I don't want that in a relationship. He kept crying and begging for another 30 minutes until I told him that we have to think about Jack and his well-being, that we could stay friends and co-parent him, which is what I was saying.
Exactly. Yes, Sophia, right on the money.
He got mad, really mad. He started yelling that it was all Jack's fault, that we shouldn't have adopted him, that he's the one who's getting between us. Oh my God.
Divorce and then thrown in the trash. Divorce and then
Dumpster.
ejected from the planet's atmosphere.
He really is jealous of this child.
Dude. And you know what? And it's the reason I switched immediately to divorce is because this happened 2 years ago. Like it started 2 years ago, happened one time. Didn't say anything. Didn't say a word.
Never confessed.
That's unacceptable.
And how many times would it have happened if OP had not called him out?
Mm-hmm.
I was crying and really scared. I had never seen him this angry. He hit the table and stormed out of the house. By the way, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. Bing.
That's you tapping.
I called the house where Jack is staying and told them if Peter shows up there, they can't open the door. After the little episode, I was scared that Peter would try to hurt Jack. I called my friend again, Thomas, and told him everything that happened. He came by and is staying with me until I'm better. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what to do and how to go on with the divorce. And that is the end of that story. And there is another story, but I think that's the right answer here.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, especially if he's going to go off the deep end like that and be like, it's the kid's fault. It's like now the only reason I had to even stay together is like, all right, well, clearly you're not good.
Exactly. You're not going to be a good parent.
Like, this is terrible. You're literally blaming the kid that you cheated on me twice, once 2 years ago and one at his 7th birthday.
7th birthday. I don't actually remember if he was 7. I did just make that number.
No, I think you're right.
Okay, cool.
I think that I remember.
Yeah, at his birthday while you're cutting the cake, and then the audacity to be like, you didn't wait for me. Well, maybe you should have been more on top of things instead of being on top of someone else.
Yeah. Your ex-wife.
Kimberly Fine says, oop, he just solved OP's problem. No need to effectively co-parent with someone who shouldn't be / doesn't deserve the opportunity or label of being a parent. And Kay says, you don't cheat due to a lack of attention, especially if you haven't properly communicated that with your partner. Husband wasn't backed into a corner to cheat. He chose it as an easy out. Definitely. But there is another story. Kay says, I was the one therapy vote, but I was behind. Okay, you're caught up now. We're good. Just like Dakota.
Yeah, hey, you know,
and Dakota
we all catch up eventually, right? Yeah.
But there is another story for us to catch up on. I tricked my ex into admitting her affair. Now she has to find a new place to live. Damn.
Hell yeah, dude.
Karma.
Way to go, Sherlock Holmes. Tricky.
It was like, it's like one of those things, you know, they did in like old cartoons where it was like, I cheated. No, or you cheated. No, you cheated. You cheated. I cheated. I cheated.
Duck season, rabbit
season.
Exactly.
Yes, that's what it is. And he's like, aha! I can't do the Elmer
with the
Fudd.
Classic.
Oh,
I'm hunting rabbits. I'm
I
hunting
cheated on my
affairs today.
wife. Pretty much title. I felt like something was off, so I went through her phone, not good, and found messages between her and a male friend that seemed suspect, also not good. Discussing meeting up when she never mentioned it to me, flirting, talking in coded language about spicy sleep, etc. I want to know what the coded language was. There was nothing overt, but still pretty sketchy. By the way, this comes from Old Links 4319 on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. So, I figured she'd just lie and bury things deeper if I confronted her and she was actually cheating. So I set up a fake Instagram account and sent her a message saying I knew she was effing her friend, had the receipts, and was going to contact her partner in 3 days, whether or not she confessed.
Wow. That's a sharp move, buddy, with the Finsta.
With the Finsta, and she didn't. Damn.
That's a bold claim, though.
Yeah. Like, what if she wasn't?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah. The next day, she sat me down and admitted to cheating, but wouldn't tell me who it was or how long it's been going on. She was sorry, she loved me, and wanted to make things work. It meant nothing, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Actually, pause really quick. Okay, story time. One time I got this spam email, but it was written like really, it wasn't written like a spam email. It was like super serious. It was like, hi, Sophia. I wanted to tell you that I have your spicy sleep tape and I'm going to release it to the world. And I was like, I don't have one of those. I'll get on to that. And then you email me.
I got it. I got one of those emails too, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was also, they were like telling me all this personal, like all these passwords and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is old and I don't use that anymore. And also it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. I was like, dude, I don't have one of those. Maybe I would be worried if.
Yeah. Imagine just being like, send it.
Send it.
Send it. I don't care. Send it. That's my thing. My thing is shame.
The next day, she sat me down and admitted to cheating. So it worked.
It did, but also it's like, that's super empty because it only worked because she was threatened.
Yeah.
So it's now you got to know, like, she probably would have never said that.
Lily Pilly says OP blackmailing. Lily Pilly Willy says emotional blackmailing. Stella Davis says OP wasn't playing 4D chess. He was playing that chess game, Wizard's Chess.
What is it? He's going to sacrifice himself.
No, Ross, no, you can't.
All right, Emma, I'm closing that before we do the entire bit.
I was about to do it. Okay. You're right.
Keep going.
She was sorry. She loved me and wanted to make things work. It meant nothing, blah, blah, blah. I told her that I already knew and that it was me who sent her the message. I was the masked singer all along.
Dropped the bomb on her right away. Goodness gracious.
We don't wait. OP's efficient. He's like, I thought something was suspicious, so I looked at her phone. I found out that she might be cheating, so I blackmailed her with an Insta account. She confessed, so I told her right then and there that it was me.
I don't know if it's blackmail. I think it's more like strong arm.
It's strong arm.
You're strong arming her.
Yeah.
Say, hey,
Well, I mean, if it wasn't him, it would be blackmailing. Like if someone emailed, I was like, I have proof.
I guess so. Yeah. It's in the gray.
It just happens that it is him.
It's in international waters, whether or not that's blackmail or strong arming.
My ex lost it, and I had to leave the apartment and go stay with a friend to get away from her. She was gone along with most of her clothes when I came back the next day. She completely trashed the place while I was gone, just like Ginny in the second Harry Potter movie. This all happened a few weeks ago, and it has been pretty tough ever since. It's having to find a new place to live and separating our stuff while dealing with feeling like crap. To make it worse, I'd met the guy several times, shaken his hand, bought him a drink, thought he was harmless. Wait, oh my God, OP knew the guy she cheated with?
Oh no. Oh, I'm just sorry this happened, but
rough.
Clearly Sherlock Holmes was the right assumption here. This guy is
Sherlock Holmes found his Moriarty, but dealt with him really quickly. Yeah. Mostly, I feel like an idiot for having trusted her. I've never cheated on anyone, and I assumed my ex was cut of the same cloth. My ex is adamant that I'm an a-hole for what I did to her, but I don't really feel like I owe her anything. I don't know. Am I the a-hole here? And there are some comments and an update. I don't know. It is an extreme, perhaps, but I feel like just cut your losses.
I think it's one of those cases where you might have been the a-hole if this wasn't
if you weren't
literally right on the money.
Yeah. Fortunately for you, you nailed it.
Yeah, but kind of fortunately / unfortunately. Yeah.
It sucks. But if you had been at all wrong, you would have been so extremely the a-hole.
Yeah, it would have been like.
Yeah, it's a really narrow, thin ice you're walking on.
That was a
risky move. But if you don't make risky plays, you'll never get that buzzer beater.
You're not willing to take the risk. You'll never find out that your girlfriend is actually Moriarty, and
if you're not ready
Sherlock
to take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
That's like the third time we've used that one. All right. Okay.
Dog.
Yeah, I think Duchess is right. Morally gray area here, but it's,
That's true. Dio2G says, my ex is adamant that I'm the a-hole for what I did to her, but I don't really feel like I owe her for anything. for what you did to her? Wow, she's desperately trying to find an offensive position when in reality, she's victim blaming. I applaud you for what you did, which was to catch her cheating and call her out. Guess the other dude can continue making his deposits because she's morally bankrupt. Damn!
That was the air horn. That
Yeah.
was the air horn, everybody. Yeah. Okay.
Just so we all know.
Yeah, just so we know.
But you should send him a celebratory bottle of wine as a gift for getting her out of your life. Does the other guy know she's a cheater? Well, he said that he met this guy, so.
I would assume.
If not, there's a future petty revenge story here. Not the a-hole. And OP says, yeah, he knew about me. We'd met on several occasions and he'd been introduced to me as a friend. He's just as gross and morally bankrupt as her. They deserve each other. I don't really feel like I need or want any revenge. I just want her out of my life. And there is an update.
It's a good place to be. Just,
out
just
of her
moving
life.
on. Those are two little disgusting peas in a disgusting pod. They can hang
Disgusting
out
little
together.
dirty pod, and get them out of your life. Get them out of your salad. That's all I have to say.
Those disgusting peas out of my salad.
But there is another part of this story. There's another update. But can you read some comments? Because Riley looked at me, and I don't know what he wants.
Oh, okay.
Riley, what do you want?
Yep. I'll read. I can read. I do know how to do that. Oh, the comments. I'd bet my last corn kernel from Prince X on Sophia in Potter trivia. I think you're right. It sounds like she's got that one in the bag. He's the a-hole, but it was 100% justified from Julie Butler. I think yeah, maybe they're both. I mean, it was kind of an a-hole move to look through her phone because that's kind of sneaky, but clearly she was being sneaky. So kind of, I think it's morally gray. Morally gray. Lily Pilly Willy says meat, worm. And that's not chat. What do we name this worm right here? I want to name this worm Nimrod. And then all the other worms are going to just be named like worm, wormy, wormo, worm.
I just want to make it clear that this is a bit that we both came up with, and this is not just Dakota being really funny.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I just want to make clear that we both came up with this
Yes,
bit.
we both were like, we should name every worm in the studio and also all the other objects and also name them worm.
Yeah, okay, clear.
And there's some more too, but you'll have to campaign for a separate segment where we just become unhinged for about, an hour. And if you guys want that, let everybody know.
Vote.
Yeah,
if you
vote.
guys want that, get in the comments.
Get in the comments and tell Sam and everybody, hey, we need these freaks just talking about nonsense for an hour.
Please. But what we will talk about is this update. And then after this episode, I will be leaving for just a moment while Riley fills in for me. And then I will be back after that, just to prepare you. But let's get into this update. So I think my original post must have been shared on Facebook or something because my phone has been blowing up. It's mostly mutual friends and acquaintances asking if I posted it. I told a few people about how I caught her cheating, and I guess it wasn't hard to put 2 and 2 together. My ex also tried to call me about 100 times. I know she knows my throwaway username because she sent me a screenshot of the post along with a long, abusive message threatening all sorts of things.
Ugh.
I blocked her everywhere after that, which I think is that's what you need to do.
Yes,
block her on the Finsta.
Block and blocked on the Finsta.
Yeah. Going through her phone was wrong. I get that. To be honest, it's the first time I've ever done anything like that in a relationship, and it was only because there were so many things that gave me bad vibes, e.g. late nights out with vague explanations, being caught in various lies, sleeping with her phone under her pillow, or leaving it face down on the charger, etc. I left the apartment because my ex has a history of violent histrionics when she doesn't get her way. That's not good.
We don't like that. We don't like violent histrionics.
I didn't want to put myself in a compromising situation where she could either hurt me or make up stories about me hurting her. I had a bug out bag packed and ready to go before I hit send on the message just in case. Definitely get out of that relationship.
Yeah.
Does not sound safe.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do any real damage to the apartment, just threw my stuff around while having a tantrum. It took a few hours to clean up and nothing valuable was damaged. So I figured it was easier to just let it slide. I think if there's no real damage, it may be just easier to lock her everywhere. But I guess if you do feel unsafe, maybe you could think about getting filing a police report and getting what's the word?
I think
restraining order.
The proper move is probably to have something. There needs to be a paper trail for this behavior.
I think so, yeah.
Or else, she might not be able to face the consequences that are warranted, because then people will be like, oh, well, it's like she hasn't.
She
like,
has no
this is a
history
freak
of
thing.
this.
It's like, no, it's like you
She's
got to
done
build the paper trail for
Yeah,
for
I do
stuff
think
like
maybe
this.
a police report, even if things weren't damaged. I had to stay in contact with her while we divided up our joint finances, furniture, and various other stuff accumulated over a 4-year relationship. Wow. As of yesterday, that's all done, which is why I waited several weeks to make the initial post. She's now blocked everywhere. Yes, I took the cat with me. Thank God. We've both been crashing at my friend's place while I look for a new apartment. He's doing great. He was always my pet anyways. My ex tolerated him at best.
Oh, only tolerating the cat, huge red flag.
Huge
Gotta like
red
the
flag. I told my ex I was the one who sent the message because I wanted her to know. I suppose I could have played that hand differently, but I wanted the satisfaction of seeing the look on her face when she found out. I didn't feel that great doing it in hindsight. I'd probably go back and do that differently if I could. I wasn't planning on airing her dirty laundry on social media, does Reddit count? Because I wanted to be above the sort of juvenile BS, but it seems like the horse has bolted on that now. People know. I don't think there'll be much else to update on after this. I don't intend to ever speak to her again, and I doubt her ugly little man has the backbone to come after her. And Jay, I know you're reading this. I hope you also read all the comments in the first post. They were savage. You're disgusting, and I'm so glad I was able to see your true colors before I wasted any more of my life on you. Good luck with the pathetic goblin you chose over me.
Damn.
I don't know if I should feel more sorry for him or for you. In any case, people of your quality deserve to be together. Oh, and A, she's all yours now, buddy. Good luck with that. And there is one more update to this story.
That's kind of disappointing. I feel like that was the perfect way to end that. You were just like, yo, letter to my haters. Y'all suck. And
you're the worst. Have fun in hell with each other. My life's
gonna be great without both of you losers.
Bye. But there is one more update, so let's read it and then chat. Holy crap! Where to begin? Yesterday while I was out, my ex-girlfriend Jay showed up at my buddy's place with a box of my stuff and asked to see me. He said she looked like crap. Ooh, he also said she had a fat lip. I have to admit that I almost caved and called her to see if she was okay. I'm glad I didn't. My ex's sister, H, texted and asked if we could talk. We always got along, and I have no issues with Jay's family, so I called her after I got home. We talked for about an hour. She wanted to apologize for her sister's behavior, but she also told me about some of the things that have been happening over the last few weeks. Jay has been staying with her sister since we split, and A, the guy she was effing, has been coming around regularly. They got into a huge fight yesterday, and Jay lost her crap at A. Her sister had to pull her off him, and A's elbow connected with my ex's face while he was trying to get away from her. Turns out he's not single, and his girlfriend found out about Jay. It also turns out that my ex wasn't his only side piece. Yoicks. After H, the sister, I believe, of, we'll call it Julie, Hannah, and Aaron. So after Hannah, Julie's sister, kicked him out, my ex-girlfriend spilled her guts. She'd been lying to her family about everything. She told them that I cheated, and she broke up with me.
Yo,
audacious.
I'm so glad that she has gotten a huge dose of her own medicine.
Yeah.
With her little boy
Truly.
toy being like, oh, actually, ooh.
That's not true.
Ooh, uh-oh.
Hannah said that my ex had confided in a couple of her friends about the way she got caught out. One of them saw the original Am I the A-hole post and sent it to her since the details lined up almost exactly. Her friend must have shared the post with other people too, and from there it kind of snowballed. Hannah also said that she's given my ex a week to find somewhere else to stay. So that's it. And that is the end of that story.
Wow. Just desserts.
Womp womp.
Just desserts.
Really just
for
desserts.
the stinky peas.
Stinky peas. And their stinky little paws.
And their stinky paws.
Stinky paws.
I wanted to say stinky knees, but I don't think chat.
They don't want to get it.
Well, that's and you'll have to one day, chat.
One
you'll
day
understand.
when we have our chaos hour, then you'll understand. Kansas says, shocking, a cheater has multiple partners. Oh my god.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, who would have thought?
He's cheating on multiple people? But we're not going to cheat on you if you come join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. But that is the end of that story. So let's get into this next story. My ex-wife asked to see me after 4 years so she could sabotage my new relationship.
Oh.
These terrible exes.
Brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh,
Let
that
me tell
lady
you.
stinks.
I want to preface this by saying that I have no intentions of getting back with my ex, and I'm in a very happy relationship with my now fiance. And I'm sorry this is long. I just wanted to add all the context, and I'm not the best with words. By the way, this comes from Hot Professional 6249 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I, 46 male, married my ex-wife, 45 female, when we were both 26 and 25 respectively. At that time, we were both on the fence about having kids. I knew since college that I wanted to retire early, and my dream of having financial freedom was what really made me realize that kids didn't fit into the life I wanted. I was trying to find the right time to talk with her about it, but over the next few weeks, she started dropping hints that she wanted kids. She started showing me photos of her friends' kids, commenting on our nieces and nephews, joking about her getting/being pregnant, that one freaked me out, and even bought me a book on the joys of fatherhood that she thought I'd find interesting.
Ugh.
I sat her down and asked her if she wanted kids. He's like, babe, I don't know if this is just me, but something's giving me the idea that maybe you want kids.
I'm just floating this out there. I feel like maybe
Picking up a vibe.
You gave me the book about how I would want the kids. Do you want the kids? The book says
I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
And I could be wrong.
I sat her down and asked her if she wanted kids, and she admitted that over the years she had grown to want a family. We had a conversation about it, and I realized that neither one of us were going to change our minds. I didn't want to keep her from what she wanted in life, so I brought up divorce. She really didn't want divorce and kept trying to get me to want kids, but I stuck to what I wanted, and we ended up separating, which I think that is sometimes the only solution in those situations where it is such a clear deal breaker.
There's it's hard to find an impasse between. You can't
Kids
just
and
have
no
like
kids. Half a kid.
an imaginary kid.
No, it won't work.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, doesn't work. We were still young, and she could find someone to have the family she wants with. I didn't want her to resent me for forcing my life choices on her. Even after I filed for divorce, she still didn't agree with me and dragged it out as long as she could. So the divorce took almost 2 years. I dated over the years, but never really found someone that I could see myself sharing the rest of my life with until I met my now fiance 4 years ago. Apparently, my ex-wife struggled with dating as well and hasn't remarried yet. She has a son, but the kid's dad isn't in the picture. She recently reached out to me and asked if we could meet up to catch up. I talked with my fiance about it, and she thought it'd be a great way to clear up any bad blood between us, so I agreed to meet up with her for coffee. Things seemed to be going well until she brought up her son. She asked me if I was willing to be a part of his life as a masculine influence.
Oh.
It's so funny that OP's like, hey, I don't want kids. And then 5 years pass, and she's like, hey, do you maybe want kids? And he's like, no, let's get a divorce. And then she comes back and she's like, I know this is not your son, but do you maybe want this kid? And he's like, I don't want kids.
I feel for the mom though.
Absolutely.
Like,
it's so hard being a single mom.
In the picture, it's like, that is what's best. It's like, it's good for a kid to have some kind of like a masculine figure in their life, but it's like, it's unfair to go to your ex who was explicitly like, I don't want children, and then be like, hey, mom, you have to fix my, or not fix my kid, but like,
you have to be there for my kid. You have to be
their blueprint, please. Like,
please, thank you.
No, doesn't make any sense.
And I told her I was glad that she was able to have a child, but that it still wasn't something I was interested in. She tried to change my mind by saying that we could be a family again. She kept trying to convince me, and I kept trying to change the subject. I admit I got frustrated because things weren't going as I hoped they would, and I told her that I was happy with my fiance's name and that I was not interested in her. With my fiance, and I was not interested in her. She started to insult my fiance, so I left. I thought what happened was crazy when I agreed to meet up with her. It never even occurred to me that she might want to get back together, considering how long it's been, and I'm not single. She kept messaging me, so I blocked her, and I don't plan on talking with her again. I was talking with my sister and her husband about it, and they said that while I'm totally right for rejecting her now, that it was an a-hole move on my part to divorce her in the first place, and that I was now being an a-hole again by not being a part of her kid's life. Your sister and her husband are crazy. That is wild to be like, you're not allowed to divorce her even though you had different, desires for your life, and also you have to be a part of a kid's life who is not your child.
People have crazy hangups when it comes to kids.
Truly.
And it's like, I guess I kind of had one like in one of the last stories we told, but I mean, I pivoted off
Go
of
to
that.
Pivoted, guys.
I did pivot off of it. But like, this is somebody who's been out of your life. You've literally gotten
In a
you're
new
engaged.
relationship.
You're engaged.
She has her own kid.
Like it's not gonna that's not gonna be the move. That's not the move. That's not the move.
Not the move. Leave. They both agreed that my ex was right for wanting to work it out. But I'm sorry, what about your fiance?
Yeah.
Are they just forgetting that you have a fiance?
How are you gonna let this woman like insult your fiance? I mean, well, you didn't. You left. I'm really talking more from the perspective of his family that are trying to tell him that he's an a-hole. Like, no, dude, he stood on business.
He stood on business.
Absolutely.
Exactly. They said it's my fault that her child doesn't have a father. It's not even his kid. What?
It's
if
kid
I had,
by association.
Yeah, it's like you had a relationship. It's like all of your ex's children's, future children are now your responsibility.
I mean, like, imagine this with anything that's not a kid. Imagine this with a dog.
Yeah,
imagine you have an ex and like you are split for 4 years and they have a dog and then they come to you and they're like, I need you to take care of this dog with me 50-50. 50-50. This is your dog right now. Oh,
I wasn't even looking
in the camera.
They said it was my fault that her kid doesn't have a father and that if I had given kids a chance, I would have changed my mind. I just don't agree that kids are something one should compromise on. Agreed. I just don't see how it's possible for it to not be a bad situation for everyone involved that breeds resentment. I don't know my ex's child at all, and I don't agree that it's my responsibility to step up just because his bio dad didn't. I asked some other friends and family, and they agreed with my sister. What is up with your family? Your family's crazy.
I think your family liked your ex more than they like you, buddy.
Apparently.
What the heck?
So now I'm not sure if what I did was wrong or not, and I was just wrongly justifying it to myself, and there is an update. But no, you're not wrong.
I don't know. There's got to be some kind of conspiracy.
There's got to be something going on here.
I don't know what it would be.
Because why is everyone against you?
How could your own family, like, what is this? I don't know.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I'm being honest about that.
From everything that we have heard, it's like there's no way that it's your responsibility and that you're an a-hole for not wanting to, like.
Yeah, unless this is secretly your kid. But
yeah,
from what we know, this is not yours.
Literally your kid.
Yeah. But there is an update, so let's get into it. My ex-wife somehow got a hold of my fiance's phone number. She contacted her yesterday and made false accusations that I cheated on her when we met up for coffee. Your ex-wife sucks. Obviously, my fiance didn't believe her and just blocked her number. This morning, my sister showed up uninvited to my fiance's house with her kids demanding to talk. It sounds like the sister and the ex are like in cahoots.
Yes, I was going to say cahoots.
They're
absolute
in cahoots.
They're cahooters.
Freaking cahootin' all the way downtown.
It's a cahootinanny.
That was a good one.
Yes. Score on cahootinanny. Yes.
We don't live together and I was not there. My fiance originally wasn't going to let them in, but my sister sat on her porch and refused to leave. It was cold and windy and the kids didn't have coats on. And since it's not the kids' fault, she ended up giving in. Wow. The sister used her kids to guilt OP's fiance into letting her in. That's ridiculous.
That's psychotic behavior, folks.
That's pretty bad parenting.
That's like,
I don't want to say it, but it's pretty bad parenting. She put on a show for the kids and made some coffee to prepare herself for whatever crap my sister was going to say. My sister started a whole spiel about how if she, my fiance, really cared about me and not just my money, then she would do what's best for me and leave. My sister claimed that since I'll always be connected to my ex, that I will be forever unhappy if I'm with anyone else. Apparently, if my fiance doesn't leave me, it's proof that she's only with me for my money. And that it's obvious that my ex and our child, which WTF, it's not my kid, would actually use the money in a godly way.
Yo, it's time to go no contact.
It's time to go no contact with your sister.
You gotta.
She's interfering with your relationship and is also like trying to force you to be a parent when you explicitly have stated that you do not want to do that.
No, she's literally trying to get your fiance to leave you.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta pick up and go somewhere else, and these people gotta lose their number, and that's. But also, she's trying to split up you and your fiance over a kid that's not yours,
and is saying that is your kid and your responsibility, which is wild.
It hurts. My head hurts.
My head is aching. Okay. Oh, sorry. My fiance laughed in my sister's face and just stared at her until she left. My fiance and I are both a little confused by what she said. I am better off financially than my fiance, but not by that much. I am also not religious, so even if I did get back with my ex, me and my money would still not be godly. We know she's crazy, but again, why did she think her plan would do anything? After my sister left, my fiance called me and told me what happened. I called my sister to tell her to leave my fiance alone and that she was crazy and delusional. That's how you stand up for your partner.
On business. And it sounds like she's a real one too, because she's the one who laughed in her face. She's like,
yeah, she's like,
you want me to leave this guy?
Funny.
She's like, he's broke.
He doesn't have any money.
I make as much money as this guy. What are you talking about?
But you know what would be you standing on business, joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just drop her
Chapow. Also, I was saying that broke is like, you know, she sounds like a funny, cheeky little person. She'd be saying that as a joke. Yeah. Clearly, she's extremely supportive.
Exactly. Thank you for clarifying that, because I just really wasn't sure about her anymore.
Yeah. No, trust.
I just didn't know her anymore.
Yeah. You know? Don't let my words make you split with your fiance.
She defended herself by saying that she knew what was best for me, and I believe this is the sister, and was just protecting me from going through with the wedding since my fiance was obviously taking advantage of me, and that since I'm under her spell, I can't protect myself. I again told her she was crazy and delusional, and told her that I never wanted to hear from her or anyone who's siding with my ex again, and to please pass the message on. Every time a family member or friend messages me about it, which has been 6 just since this morning, I ask them what their thoughts on the matter are, and if they sided with my ex or sister, I block them. And I think that's the way to go.
Absolutely, because it's unhinged to really. It's not fair.
It's not fair for them to make you think that you're in the wrong for something that is not your responsibility in the slightest.
And you know, it's not like it really, all of this goes back to the baby daddy is
that's his
gone. This is really all his fault. Like,
exactly.
And could you say it's on her for being like, I don't know, probably not. Like, you can't blame somebody for being with somebody who turns into a scumbag, I guess. No. But I
think the thing is that it is her, even though it sucks what happened to her, it doesn't mean that it's anyone else's responsibility besides her, and should have been the baby daddy's. But you know, I
don't know. It seems pretty like a pretty desperate move to just like
be like
try to gaslight.
I wonder if she's going back to all of her exes
into being like, yeah, actually, this is your kid.
This is your kid.
It's your kid in spirit. Right? And if you don't take care of the kid, you're going to have to explain that to the big man upstairs.
You're going to have to explain it to him because you're not being very godly right now. I'll tell you that much for free. But that is the end of that story. Are there any donations that we need to read?
I don't think so, but I do want to say, everyone in chat that made a comment about my Bob Ross shirt, I love you and thank you.
It's a really good shirt. I did notice it.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it.
Little Bobby.
Little Bobby
Ross. I'm going to customize it soon.
Bobby. Oh.
Yeah. I do a little embroidery. I'll do a little embroidery here and there. Put a little happy accident somewhere on there. Might put it in the middle of the galaxy. I don't know. You maybe have to wait and see.
I like it. But that is the end of that story and the end of that episode. So I will have to leave just there. Yeah.